Okay, now then. Now then, we can continue. Yes, we can? Can we though? Is that correct? Is that how this works? I think so. We've done this 3 times already, let's do it. Volume 4. The loneliest girl in the world. Oh, yes. Warnings. What do you warn us about? Abandonment. Great. Neglectful parenting. Abusive guardian. Ah, fuck's sake, abuse. Oh, that's annoying. Animal. Oh, god damn it. Animal abuse. That's like the worst one. And animal attack. That's... Yeah. That can go in different ways. Anyway. Animals attacking people is generally kind of funny, except when it's not. So, but there's animal abuse here in the parental, and this sounds like it's gonna be kind of potentially rough. But well, okay, all right, all right. Previous ones haven't been that bad. I mean, relatively speaking, everything's all relative. But like, we still have so much ahead of us. Oh, jeez. It could be a lot of different things. I haven't looked through these, so I don't know. But anyway, enough blabbering. Volume 4. Well, we have some interesting music here. I think you'll agree that it's quite interesting. The tone feels not at all what those warnings told us about, but okay. Anyway, it's been days and your stomach still hasn't recovered from Olive Garden, but you can't spend forever moping around. There are friends to make, damn it. Well, just one left in this set. Sure. Her name is Jade Harley, and though all 3 of your new pals consider themselves good friends with her, they know strikingly little about her life. Okay, I mean, that sometimes happens in friend groups. You don't necessarily need to know everything about a person's life. Some people like to keep certain things segmented. Like, most people don't know I do this. Although I don't know a lot of people. Anyway. The most you have gleaned is that she lives on a mysterious island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with her grandfather and some uncommon breed of dog. Their communication with her has been limited to internet messages and packages sent to a P.O. box in some podunk town called Hauntswich. Hauntswich, great. John said he would message her and see if she could provide an address, but you don't want to wait. Throwing yourself headlong into friendship has always worked for you. So, you close your eyes, think islandy thoughts, and hope it works. Probably. But something strange happens as you channel your powers. A loud bark echoes somewhere in the distance. A nuclear green energy sparks in the air around you. Oh, right, hello Half-Life. You catch a split-second glimpse of a massive green sun, and then you hit the ground on your hands and knees. The whole event can't have taken more than a second or 2. I mean, nuclear green sparks and dogs barking, that's like literally Half-Life. Those little eye things, whatever the fuck those are, that's gonna be the sonic boom. Whatnot. No. You didn't insert the thing correctly. Yeah, that's very much the resonance cascade. Anyway, that's a nuclear dog. You blink and focus your vision. You are inside a room. The floor is smooth and white, and disrupting the monotony in front of you are a set of similarly white paws attached to a lusus. An animal. You slowly stagger up and look him over. He is a very large and fluffy dog, his snout held up high. A long green tongue hangs from his open mouth as he pants lightly, and the air around him crackles with electricity, making the fur on his back stand on end, and apparently no eyes. Something about him feels so familiar to you, familiar twice over. His fuzzy and regal form reminds you of a warmth you once knew, but those neon sparks fill your stomach with dread. Yeah, animals don't typically sparkle like that. At the very least, he seems friendly. He leans in and drags his rough tongue along your cheek, leaving it tingling. His tail wags swiftly back and forth, and he keeps nosing at you. He seems fascinated. Aww. Beck, down, boy. Okay. It is... Well, we're getting... okay. It is this friendly demeanor of his that leaves you shocked when he moves aside and you find yourself staring down the barrel of a rifle. It's held aloft by a bespectacled young lady in a sensible skirt who really has no business pointing such a big fucking gun at you. I mean, we have no business invading her home all of a sudden like that through magic. You know. Okay, please don't panic and don't make any sudden moves. I've never shot a living being before, and it would make me very, very sad if I had to start now. Fair enough. Okay. So this is happening now. Is this Jade? She doesn't sound like Jade, based on what Jean told you. She looks more like a Gigi anyway. Or maybe a Lynn? Right, the gun. Kind of important. Don't get sidetracked. You slowly raise your hands in surrender and try to put on your most inoffensive expression. You tell her that if she started shooting living beings, you would be pretty sad too, so why doesn't she put the gun down and... No way! I don't want to shoot you, but you are clearly a dangerous and unpredictable being, and I need to make sure I stay safe. My grandpa taught me a lot about gun safety and trigger discipline in case anything bad ever happened to me. So I know that good trigger discipline means keeping your finger on the trigger at all times in case you need to blow something to bits. No, it's not, but sure, okay. Fuck. Now let me make things clear for you. I'm a very clever girl, and you won't be able to fool me as easily as you fooled the others. I kinda doubt that now. The more she speaks, the more I doubt that. It's very obvious to me that what you've been doing, and I knew you would eventually show up if I waited long enough. Sure enough, John messaged me not too long ago to let me know you wanted to visit, and so I prepared myself for your arrival. You've come to interfere with our lives, and now I want to know why. So, you had better start talking, okay? Okay, you say. What does she want to talk about? You're well versed on a variety of eclectic subjects, so you can go on about basically anything. Wrestling, postmodern art, controversial opinions on traditional jurisprudence. But you get the feeling that this is an interrogation and you really have no idea what she's interrogating you over. That's a very likely story. I can put two and two together pretty easily, you know. You've never shown up in any of my dreams before, and now none of those dreams are coming to pass. Not to mention that I don't even see Prospect when I go to sleep anymore. And that can only mean that you have derailed the forces of fate. Okay. You destroyed John's copy of Spurb, and somehow that changed everything. Not only could you, John, not begin the game, none of us could. And none of the meteors hit like they were supposed to. It was like the universe changed its very fabric to bend to your evil whims. Okay. Whoa, evil? Well, that's a little harsh. Maybe. I know I'm a little bit evil, definitely. But I mean, I don't exercise any of the things, enact them. It's only fantasies. It's only in the fantasy land where I'm evil. Because trying to do that in real life would be way too bothersome and difficult and not worth it. Anyway, you'll cop to stupid, but evil is way too much. Oh yeah, definitely stupid. That's true. Don't play dumb with me. What else could motivate you to stop us from fulfilling our destiny as heroes? Heroes? John and friends are very nice, but they don't exactly strike you as heroes. That's because you don't know them like I know them. You haven't seen the shrines on Prospect or heard stories from the Queen or seen them in the clouds growing into brave and wonderful people. And now I'm beginning to suspect that those things will never come to pass. John's birthday came and passed without any fanfare, except for him supposedly befriending a strange mailman. And that day, the internet was full of people complaining that their beta copies of Spur were working, and there was a huge scandal with the company. A little while later, I found out that this mailman was talking with Rose and had magical powers. I know a thing or two about magical powers, or at least powers which seem to be magical to those who haven't studied their logical sources. But yours are totally different from anything I've seen. At first I thought you must be an advanced Dersite agent come to sabotage us. But you definitely aren't from Ders. Maybe a Prospectan double agent. I also consider the weird trolls who keep pestering me. But they've been weirdly quiet lately and you don't really give me that vibe. And obviously you are not human. Whoa, hang on. You are human, right? Well, we're like a stick man, aren't we? She tilts her head and gives you a little Really? Kinda look, and your stomach twists into knots. The more I look at you, the more I start to think you're like... How do I explain this? Okay, do you know what a furry is? Yes, I do. Well, okay. That question is more loaded than her gun. Yes? Alright, so a lot of artists I follow do YCH commissions, and you remind me of one of those. Does that make sense? YCH, I'm not sure what that stands for though. You have no idea what a YCH is. You cautiously ask her. Okay, goddamn. It stands for your character here. Those. Sometimes they're like, okay, yeah, okay. It's like a self-insert, like, imagine it's you. Deliberately non-defined. Especially the face. Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Basically, an artist will draw a pose or scenario, but instead of putting in an actual character, they will leave a blank outline, like a mannequin. You pay them to put your own character there. And when I look at you, I feel like I'm looking at one of those blank spaces. My intuition doesn't tell me anything about you, and you've never showed up in my dreams. You're like my best friend Beck over there, here. A complete wildcard, something I can't figure out. Which brings me back to my point. Alright, she had almost let her gun drop, and you had almost forgotten she was holding it, but she hefts it back up to point at you and steals her gaze. You are going to tell me why you came here and did what you did, and then you're going to help fix it. That rifle is really starting to bother you. No, she's got this dog here. If we try to take the gun, it's gonna... That's... I mean, this is the obvious bad route, isn't it? Dead end. Right? It's not gonna pull fast one on us and make this one the bad end. Anyway, we're gonna stay calm and explain ourselves. Don't give her a reason to shoot the gun. Alright, pretty much everyone except John has called you on your bullshit thus far, so you may as well give her the full confession. You absolutely did change the course of reality, but was the result of a genuine fuck-up, not ill intent. It's kind of a long story, but you relate it as best you can. It's only like 2 hours long at most. Your strange lack of memory, an encounter with a bizarre and magical artifact, the way you blundered into John's life and destroyed his mail as a result of your highly relatable social anxiety. The girl listens intently as you explain what brought you here, and then you offer an apology. You think that you have irreversibly altered the very fabric that threads her cosmos together. There's probably no way of putting things back like they were and letting this lady go on her golden dream quest, or whatever she was blathering about while you were distracted by her very deadly gun. Okay. Oh, what? 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 Did I press something? You sound very sincere, and I'd like to believe you. So, I'll take you at your word for now. Okay, that works. That works. Whatever shenanigans you involve yourself in, I trust that you did not intend to cause any problems. Let's put all this ugly business behind us. Okay, that worked out. Nice. The girl holsters her rifle and you breathe a long sigh of relief. Okay. Sorry about all that. I promise I only had the best intentions. Sure. It's cool, you tell her. You get the distinct feeling you've dealt with much worse. Yeah, I'd imagine a space hopper like you has been to all sorts of cool and dangerous places. I'm kinda jealous, really. But anyway, we never properly introduced ourselves. My name is Jade, and my dog's name is... What the fuck am I looking at there? Becquerel? Besquerel? Becquerel. Becquerel. It's gonna be Becquerel. That's the best thing I could come up with. Fuck you, French language. Piss off with that. What the fuck am I looking at there? I don't know. Becquerel. That's his name. What's yours? Ha. You know, you think this is the first time you have ever been asked for your name. Ever? You almost forgot you had one. You tell Jade your name. Huh. That's a very unique sounding name. I like it. You tell Jade that you like her name too, and she beams at you. Thank you. I'm so glad my grandpa gave me this name. It's so pretty and fairly unique and just very likable. Anyway, why don't I show you around? I can give you a tour of the house and we can get to know each other a little better. Ooh, that sounds great. You're an expert on taking tours of other people's houses. Which makes sense since you don't exactly have your own house. Jade stares sadly at you. I'm very sorry to hear that. Aww. No, it's cool. You have magic now, so the trade-off is probably pretty fair. Right. Well, this is of course my room. As you can see, I have a ton of pretty posters. This is my favorite. It was a gift from Dave, and I love it to pieces, even though it's honestly pretty dumb looking. But that's the point. Which one is she referring to? Is the little, like, squid octopus things on the side here? This one with the weird, that's been drawn on? This silly cat person with a sword? This little tiger one? Or fairy dog person thing? Can't really tell. She gestures to a poster of Dave's webcomic guys with animal attributes scribbled onto them. Oh, it is this one. Here's this silly one. Nice. Most of the other posters also feature anthropomorphic fauna, drawn with significantly more finesse. It all gives you a very furry vibe. But not in a bad way, you clarify. Her lips twitch in irritation, and it occurs to you that people are probably constantly either clowning on her for liking furry stuff or reassuring her that they aren't about to clown on her for liking furry stuff. Like, I mean, like what you like, I don't really care. It's not my thing personally, but it's fine. Whatever, I don't care. Well, I don't actually dress up in suits or any of that nonsense. Hey, some people like that, don't call it nonsense. Everyone has their own preferences. But I really love animals, and I think it is fun to imagine what it would be like to be one. Sure. Which is why I own so many animal toys, like the Mathro chaps, who are very silly but dignified fellows who are part animal and part Victorian-era gentleser. Manthro chaps. Okay, interesting, that's... Jade gestures to a pile in the corner, heaped high with plushies and dolls of all sorts. Many of them look like man-animal abominations with curly mustaches, and others feature bright and puffy squid-like creatures. Yeah, you put a curly mustache on anything and it instantly makes it better, in a silly way. I love that. Ooh, and these are my squiddles. They are based off of a cartoon show. Rose says it's a bad show, but I don't believe her. Jade finishes through the toy pile and retrieves a dark bluish-black toy. This one is Inkabelle. She's my favorite. In one episode, she gets lost in the murky brine swallows and spends years completely alone, lost without any of her friends. But in the end, her friend Podlight tracks her down and saves her. It seemed so bleak the first time I watched it that I literally cried, but I realized in the end there was a very poignant tale. Jade smiles wistfully down at the plushie in her hand. She glances from it to another one of the squiddle dolls, and her expression tightens. She squeezes the doll just a little too hard, causing a horrendous pitchy squeak. I guess in retrospect that was pretty silly though. I mean, it was just a kid's show. Hey, just because it's a kid's show, quote unquote, doesn't mean it can't have really deep and also fucked up messages as well. Like, fucking hell. God, some of the shows I watched as a kid were fucked up. Damn. Fuck, why the fuck did I watch Ren and Stimpy? That was not appropriate for a kid to watch. God damn. Or like, oh, fucking Powerpuff Girls. That's like the most violent show ever. Like, literally. It's like, God, anyway, moving on. Fucking hell. Of course, there was going to be a happy ending. That's how those always work, right? Not always. Jade's still smiling as she tosses the doll onto her bed, but she puts so much force into the throw that it goes careening off the edge with a wheeze. You hear it plop onto the floor and magnetize itself to another squiddle. Its voice box lets out a weak little yay. Jade stands up and brushes off her skirt. Her eyes fall to her bedspread, which features a striking cloud design. She sighs slowly, and then assumes a bright smile once more. Anyway, let's go explore the rest of the house, shall we? I've got so much to show you. Okay. Jade hikes up her skirt and skitters down a spiral staircase, 2 steps at a time. You're a little interested in the high-tech devices laying on a workbench near her bed, and a glowing green crystal that you think is literally uranium. But Jade's already gone, so you tear your eyes away and follow. Excuse me? That's kind of important to not be exposed to, but okay, okay. The landing below her room is small and cylindrical, and features only a grey closet-looking device and a platform on the floor. My room is at the top of the tower, but this transportalizer will take us to the garden quick and easy. She hops on and disappears in a flash of green light. You're a little nonplussed, but you've seen weirder. You step onto the platform, hear a light click beneath your feet, and in an instant you're standing in a lush garden atrium. There are exotic plants as far as the eye can see, ranging from psychedelic floral arrangement to tropical fronds of fruits, to fruits and vegetables. Tall windows blanket the walls and allow sunlight to stream in, and said windows are coated in a steamy mist. You feel like you just got clotheslined by a rainforest. Okay, tropical frond, that's a word I have not seen before. What is a frond? Let's look that up quickly now. A frond. A large divided leaf. Oh, okay, it's on the, giant leaves. Okay, basically. Okay. That's what it is. Okay, cool. It's beautiful, right? It absolutely is. It's very nice. Jade opens her arms and spins around, gesturing to her various gardening stations. You nod. It really is. It is nice. It's a nice, comfy feeling, especially with the light and everything else. Gardening is another one of my favorite hobbies. It's a great way to get your hands dirty and do some real work. And the end result is really vibrant and beautiful. Jade waves her rough and calloused hands at you, and then strokes her fingers along the pinkish petal of an anemone and hums a little tune toward it. One of its leaves seem to curl toward her touch. When Jade pulls away, she skips toward one of the windows and motions for you to follow her. It's a beautiful island vista that awaits your gaze. To your left is a towering mountain that might just be a volcano, and ahead of you is a small bay filled with giant lily pads and an old, mossy temple. Ooh. Beyond the island, the sea stretches out to a shimmering horizon. Past that boundary line, an entire world awaits, ever out of reach. This is my home. This entire island belongs to just me, Beck, and my grandpa. It's a very peaceful place. The greenery is so lovely and the bay is very fun to take a dip in. There's some mysterious ruins down there too. I've always been very curious about them, but Beck won't let me visit them. I guess he thinks they're too dangerous. Grandpa's been in there plenty of times before, though. Could her grandfather give her a supervised tour? Oh, Grandpa doesn't really move much anymore. He spends all his time having tea parties in the foyer. LOL. He's quite old then? You could say that. Jade wanders away from that window and toward another one, whose view is exclusively centered on the rolling blue. She presses a hand against the mystery pane and sighs. You know, Dave talks a lot about coming to visit me here. I mean, all my friends do, but Dave especially. In his usual Davey way, of course, which means making lots of jokes and not sounding very serious about it. Yeah, I'm itching to put on my safari hat and come traipsing down to Doom Death Archipelago to get my ass murdered by Infinite Dog, the Eldritch Retriever. Stuff like that. I know he really means it, though. He wants to see me, just like I want to see him. But it's just wishful thinking. He doesn't know where this island is. Even I don't know where it is. All the delays here go through some company P.O. box my grandpa set up before he died, and it's not marked on any maps. Because this is a special island with all kinds of important secrets on it, I guess. Or it was special. I was special. But not anymore. Now I'm just a regular girl stuck alone on this dumb island for the rest of my stupid life. Okay, this took a turn. Woo. You asked Jade if she's feeling alright. No. No, she's not. That little outburst, clearly not. She's processing. Yep, I'm totally fine. Just peachy, thanks for asking. The smiley face as well, and that, jeez. Come on, let's keep up with the tour. There's no time for dilly-dallying. My grandpa's collection rooms are up next. The first one is full of his big game hunting trophies. I never shoot an innocent animal, and I think the trophies are pretty hideous. But I do have to admire his great work stuffing them, I guess. It is really hard to properly stuff and mount something, trust me. And he has some cooler stuff on the lower floors, like all those badass knight statues. Or these, faded blue portraits of pretty ladies. Okay, I'm going to be honest, most of my grandpa's collection stinks. But I think what is important is what it all represents to him. He's been on all sorts of incredible, amazing adventures, and he has this huge array of interesting things to show for it. You tell Jade that her grandfather sounds like a hell of a guy. He sure is. Back when I was little, he used to go on trips all over the world and come back with so many interesting stories and new souvenirs. I was so awed, and I guess a little jealous too. Sometimes he would be gone for days or even weeks at a time, and would just be me and Beck holding down the fort. I was always so happy when he came back, and I listened to his tales without making a single peep. But he never asked me if I want to come along for an adventure, no matter how obvious it was that I did. I guess that's just the way of life for adventuring folk. There's no time to be tied down, even by the people you love. They can stay at home and wait for you to come back. That's how it was for my grandpa, at least. How about you? You're an adventurer too. You visited all my friends, and you've surely been to other awesome spots around the globe. So, I bet you've left someone waiting for you too, haven't you? Frost floods your veins and nestles into your heart with a burning chill, for reasons that you don't quite understand. Jade tilts her head and bores into you with wide, curious eyes. One of her hands is balled up into a fist, and both of them are trembling as she watches you. Jeez, you're gonna have to coach another kid through parental issues, aren't you? You swallow down your sudden anxiety, force a smile, and remind Jade that you're suffering amnesia. Oh, right. Well, it's just this feeling here, you know. I have great intuition. When she smiles, the corner of her mouth twitches. It's now or never. Would she like to talk? I said I'm fine. There's nothing to talk about. There very clearly is. Unless you want to talk about, some of these flowers. Isn't this one such a lovely yellow? Oh, she's avoiding the issue. Come on now. Surely there's nothing wrong with a good old feelings jam, right? Jade is an expressive, empathetic girl. Feelings jam should be her thing. You think that, but she's still steadfastly ignoring you. Hey, how about this orange with a goofy face on it? Why don't we boggle at it for a while? Jade, something's wrong. You need to talk this out. That's what you do. You're a talker. So why don't you two... Oh my god, just shut up. Please just shut your stupid fucking mouth. Of course something is wrong, and that something is you. Jeez, yeah. There was a long pause, and she went through a bunch of stuff. Jade stands there, her eyes wide, shocked at her own outburst. She wipes a tear from her cheek, takes a shaky gulp, and then sprints back up the stairs. That didn't work. You stand there for a while, feeling like a tender, AAA grade jackass steak with baked douchebag potatoes on the side. Then you sigh and steel yourself, and make the trek back up to her room. Jade is nowhere to be seen. Beck is pawing clumsily at a large, suspiciously jade-shaped lump beneath the covers of her bed. You clear your throat and ask her, softly, if she wants to talk. It's cool, you say. You listen to teen drama all the time, and this is some particularly choice drama. Not that you like drama, you clarify. You just kind of exist in the periphery of it constantly. You are a drama magnet. Yeah. There's a long pause, and you're about to turn and leave when she pulls the covers off and turns to you. Her eyes are all puffy and red. Hey. I'm sorry I yelled at you. It's not really your fault. I mean, it kinda is, but you didn't know you were messing anything up. It's not fair for me to be pissed at you. It's just, none of this is fair at all. Yeah, that's life for you. It's not gonna be fair, unfortunately, because there's like 8 billion of us messing about with in our own lives, and stuff just happens unintentionally to others. You don't even consider it. You don't even know it's a possibility. That's why it's not fair. That's why life isn't fair, because you can't know everything. And it's impossible to know how your actions will affect others fully. Like indirectly, especially indirectly. God. Yeah, that sounds like life, alright. You sit down on the bed and tell her to vent about it. It's okay, you can take it. Okay. Have you ever spent your whole life waiting for something to happen and then it didn't? Well, your memory is pretty fuzzy right now, so you can't say you have, but you think you understand a similar sense of yearning. Good God, have you yearned? Yearning is a good word for it, yeah. Let me try and explain. When I went to sleep, I would see this beautiful golden kingdom called Prospit and hang out with the people there. I'd wake up with these fuzzy, half-remembered feelings of happiness and visions of the future swirling around in my head. It was nice. It was a good life. But there was this very lonely feeling that I couldn't make go away no matter what I did. I would always tell myself, soon, Jade, soon it'll all change. You'll get to travel to Prospect in your waking hours. You'll meet your friends in person. You'll finally begin to live, like, really live. I waited days, months, years for the day to finally arrive, and then it never came. I was so sure that it would come on John's birthday. All my dreams told me so. All the signs were there, but it just didn't happen. And now I don't know what to do with myself. I was able to ignore the lonely feeling because I knew that it would disappear one day. But now that day has slipped me by, and it's like all those years are catching up and crashing down on me at once, and I feel so small and helpless and sad, like the loneliest girl in the world. I don't want to put this all on you, but that wouldn't be very nice, but it's not fair. Jade vaults from the bed and stamps her foot on the ground, hard. Her face is flushed and streaked with tears and snot. She looks awful, frankly, like someone who's been holding it all in for far too long. Beck gets up and starts licking at her cheeks, and she holds him off until she can wipe her face on her sleeve. Thanks, Beck. At least I've got you for a best friend, right? Jade settles back onto the bed, stroking Beck's fur softly. I have a lot of complicated feelings about all this, I guess. So complicated and painful that I'd rather just pretend everything is okay. But now I can't pretend anymore. And these feelings are all that's left. And I hate feeling so glum. I hate sitting around being all sad and useless. It's stupid and pointless and a waste of my fucking energy. It's not who I am, and I'm just dumping it all on you. I'm sorry. I really am. Man, you just completely fucked up this girl's life, and she's apologizing to you. Now you feel like the delicious 3-layered shithead tiramisu served after that nice meal of steak and potatoes you had earlier. You really want to help Jade. I mean, what can we do though? And while you still don't quite get all of this magical moon stuff she's been talking about, you do get how it feels to be lonely. That's something you can help with. You offer her your hand. Want to go see the world? She sniffles and lightly shakes her head. It's not going to work. Well, there's no way to know that unless you give it a try, right? She nods, stands up and takes your hand. You focus on the familiar destination, John's house. But as you begin to dematerialize, Beck turns to stare at you, and you hear that familiar barking sound in your ears. And when the flash of light subsides, you're standing here in Jade's room, only a few feet from where you started. What? Hello? See, I told you it wouldn't work. Come on, let me show you something. Okay. Jade hops up and shuffles down the staircase, and you follow. She takes you to the teleportation pad in the atrium. These transportalizers are all powered by thermal energy and use each other as beacons for the sake of every easy short-range teleportation. But if you hook one of them up to a uranium converter and modify the coordinates specified on the logic board, you can theoretically go anywhere in the world. Which I tried, see? She twists the top of the pad with her fingertips and pulls it off, and shows you the wiring underneath. It looks messy, like someone has made multiple attempts to rewire the circuits. But when I used it, it only led to the exact same thing that happened just now. Beck used his powers to prevent me from leaving the island. Maybe he got the coordinates wrong and I would have ended up stuck underground or something. But I checked and double-checked my measurements. I think Beck just doesn't want me to leave the island. He wants me to stay somewhere he can keep me safe at all times. Perhaps he heard his name from above, or perhaps he just has a sixth sense about it, because Beck wanders down the staircase and over to Jade. She gives him a soft stroke behind the ear. I love him very much, but as long as he's around, I'm stuck here. And because of the changes you made, that is how it will always be. I'm just going to have to get used to it, I guess. Jade deflates against one of her gardening tables and offers you a wan smile. For a split second, you could swear you see droopy doggy ears and a tail tucked between her legs. Depression to this degree simply is not conducive to friendship, and even if it was, you would still feel pretty shitty about it. You should do something to cheer her up. Challenge Bex for superiority or explore. Challenge. What the fuck is Beck? let's just explore. Let's just explore. You know, let's just explore. We've avoided one bad ending, so let's just explore. You present your most finely honed smile of confidence and urge Jade to stand. This is no time to mop around. There's plenty of fun to be found without leaving this island. You suggest that perhaps with your help, you can give her the opportunity to explore that temple she's always been curious about. Really? That would be super fun. But what about Beck? Oh, there's nothing to worry about there. You have a genius plan, you tell her. You tell her to just head on over to the temple, and you'll take care of the rest. Okay, if you say so. But please don't do anything to hurt Beck, okay? I love him to bits. You wouldn't dream of it. Not on this route, at least. Fair enough. Jade transports less downward, and you turn your attention to Beck, who is idly sniffing one of Jade's plants. You advance on him slowly, and with intent. You know what must be done. Pet the dog. Yes. You just get right in there. You pet the hell out of this dog. You employ all your strongest pamper techs, like the quick scritch up, the main massage, and the rare Cuddle Brand EX Doge Smite. Somewhere in the distance, a bluebird observes your masterful display and chirps happily. But suddenly, Beck's head snaps up and he points his snout in the direction of the temple. Oh, there, buddy. Now's no time to be thinking about Jade. Now is belly scritches time. You start rubbing Beck's stomach and he flops onto his back with his tail wagging and his feet curled up. Who's a good boy? Beck looks up at you and you see the cosmos reflected in his deep, piercing eyes, which we don't see at all. And you understand. He's a good boy and he knows it. After a while longer spent threading your fingers through his silky fur, Beck curls up beside you and yawns, starting to nod off. You kiss him on the forehead and then take the opportunity to slowly stand up and exit the room, letting the sleeping dog lie. Yes, let sleeping dogs lie. You're a little worried about you alerting Beck by using your powers. He seems to be pretty keyed into that kind of space-time manipulation, so you just take the long route to the temple. Jade's Island is a very beautiful place, with rolling hills and lush sun-bathed plains. It looks like an excellent vacation destination, but it is also so bare. There's nothing and nobody around except for the hollow whispers of the wind. You can see how this place would feel much less like paradise after years spent stranded here. When you reach the lake surrounding the temple, you see that the giant lily pads outside have arranged themselves into a walkway that you can use it to reach it. How strange and convenient. You channel your inner frog and hop across. Hey, up here! Jade calls down to you. She's at the temple entrance far above your head, waving down at you. Grooves carved into the wall form a ladder that you can use to climb up, and soon you are standing beside her at the entrance to the temple. A huge, imposing archway marks the ingress between the sunny island and the dark interior of the ruin. From within, you can see a faint yellow-green glow that seems to come from runes carved into the walls. Spooky. Ooh, some Matrix shit right there. As you proceed through the entryway, Jade runs a hand alongside the glowing walls, her face bathed in the sickly green. At the end of the hallway is a large, round platform decorated with the cloudy designs and a glowing orb at the center. Ooh, glowy orbs. Touch the glowy orb. It doesn't pique your inner interior decorator, but Jade seems quite awed by the sight. This is Kaya. I knew this temple had to be connected to that world in some way. Jade rushes onto the platform and it begins to descend. You quickly follow her before you're left behind as the elevator takes you down to the expansive and dark room below. That's a timer. Okay, seconds, minutes, hours, days, I guess weeks or months, or years, and then definitely a very long period of time. Much like the rest of the temple, the space seems very sparse and it is illuminated by the faint glow of the runes on the walls. A large purple lotus flower rests atop a pedestal in front of the elevator, petals wilted. There is an electronic display built into the pedestal, with a timer that could feasibly count down for millions of years. But it seems to be glitched, stuck a few hours away from zero with the second digit constantly ratcheting back and forth between two numbers. Jade places a hand on the pedestal and sighs. Huh. The number is stuck. I think this is a time capsule, but it's malfunctioning for some reason. Was I supposed to open it when the time was right? Now I'll never know. What else could this place be hiding from me? As if on cue, the elevator platform shudders and begins to rise behind you. As the platform ascends, it becomes clear that there is a pit beneath it, which is basically video game logic 101. Jade looks down into it, and you follow suit and see. Transportilizers? There's two of them. One a deep purple, and the other a brilliant gold. Jade leaps down into the pit, which is a pretty brave maneuver, because it's deep as hell and real life still has fall damage. She grunts and sinks to her knees from the impact, but quickly recovers and rushes over to the golden transportilizer. Okay, so it's not that deep. Maximum of what, like 6-7 feet? Enough to hurt a bit, but if you land decently, it's fine. She examines it for a moment and then clambers on. With a soft click, the pressure plate is depressed and the device surges to life. She disappears in a bright flash of light. Well, shit, you better follow her. You hop down and step onto the transportilizer, and the same flash of light consumes your body. You feel something like wind whipping around you as your molecules are dematerialized and then reassembled in a new locale, a glimmering golden palace. Wow. This place is way too fucking bright. Someone needs to crank the saturation down pronto. I don't believe it. Jade is looking around with wide eyes that reflect your golden surroundings. This is it. This is Prospect, the planet I visited in my dreams. I didn't think it was possible to get here like this. What does it mean? Why am I allowed to be here right now? I should go talk to the queen. Okay. And with that, she's off, sprinting down the halls with a renewed sense of vigor. You scramble to keep up with her, threading your way through crowds of confused white-shelled folks in fancy outfits. They kind of remind you of yourself, but with chitinous bodies. You sidestep a lady carrying a paint can and shuffle down a lengthy golden staircase adorned with regal golden spikes. And you can only barely keep your eyes on Jade's long black hair as it swishes behind her. When you finally catch up, she's in the middle of an argument with two burly fellows in white suits. She stamps her foot at them, but they are undeterred, blocking her passage further. Eventually, Jade wheels around to look at you. She tries to soften her expression for your sake, but her face is still sour. Ah! The guards won't let me see the queen. Well, no shit, they won't. Apparently, she's really busy with something. They told me I'm not supposed to be here and that I have to leave right away. This is totally bull. I'm a princess. Oh, really? I swear some of these idiots can't even recognize me without the pretty golden dress. Blah. I guess I'm not getting any answers here either. Let's just get out of here. Oh, that was quick. And she's off again. This time striding forward with her fists curled and her jaw set. You glance back at the guards, whose furrowed brows strike you more as worried than ire, and then follow Jade back. You're almost to the exit when you see it, a dark figure silhouetted against sky as brilliant blue. They are humanoid in shape, with two leathery wings outstretched and inky black tendrils trailing behind. Crimson force crackles in their wake, and they swoop over the city like a bird of prey. Something about them gives you a major case of the heebie-jeebies. You do a nervous little half-jog back to the transportilizer and get the hell out of Dodge. The temple feels oppressively dark compared to the blinding bright of Prospect. You spend a while blinking as your eyes readjust. Uh-oh. The transportilizer you just used flares up red, and then cracks. That's probably not a good sign, is it? You do what you do best. Ignore it, and climb out of the pit. Jade is standing beside the lotus contraption, running her hand along one of the petals with her face set. What does all of it mean? Was this here all along? Has my grandpa been to Prospect before? If I can go there, then it must still exist. The game must still exist, but how? None of it makes any sense. I need to think about this. You follow Jade slowly back to her house as she mumbles to herself, brows furrowed. You can barely catch what she's saying, but she's clearly thinking hard. The clouds have never been wrong before. Is it too early? Was this meant to happen? Once you reach the atrium, Jade lets out a sharp breath and nods her head, resolute. She turns to you. Alright, I think I understand. I know what's going on now. Great. You offer her your most winning smile. What's the sitch? Well, the truth is I was always being very immature about the idea of being a hero and having a destiny. Life isn't like in kids' cartoons after all. Heroism all rainbows and sunshine, and it's childish to think that everyone gets a happy ending. That kind of storybook stuff doesn't really exist. To be a real hero, you have to be prepared to suffer horribly. It makes sense when you think about it. If everything can come easily, there wouldn't actually be anything heroic about it. Why else would my grandpa have put me on this island? Why else would Beck want to keep me safe here, even now that everything's changed? It's because it's my destiny. I have to prove that I'm willing to suffer and willing to sacrifice. That has to be it. Is it? That doesn't sound right either. This can't all have been for nothing, right? That's not the way the world works. Everything has a purpose, even if it's not clear at first. Yeah, not really. Not really. Lots of things in the world just happen because they just happen. Seeing Prospect in the flesh reminded me of that. My purpose is to do what I've always done, what my grandpa and Beck have helped and prepare me for. I know I'll be really lonely, but in the end, it means that everything will continue to play out the way it was meant to be. It's a very noble job, and I've got to be the one to do it. You're at a loss for words. This really doesn't feel like the right takeaway from all this, but you don't know jack about Spurb or Destiny or any of that nonsense, so who are you to say otherwise? So, thank you for helping me visit Prospect. I wouldn't have figured this all out if not for you, and I'm sure that meeting me is one step along the way towards your mysterious fate as well. I will be rooting for you. Jade erupts into a broad, beaming smile. It might be the first completely genuine smile you've seen from her this entire time, but that doesn't make you feel any better about it. Yeah, no. In fact, it's more of a knife twisting in your gut, and when she throws her arms around you and hugs you tight, the knife pushes deeper to the bone. Well, you probably have more important stuff to do than keep hanging out with me. I'll let you get back to it. Jade turns around and heads for the staircase, leaving you to stare at her retreating form. Is this it? Will you accept the new destiny you've written for Jade and allow her to stay trapped here on the sun? Fuck no, this is the wrong path. This is the wrong ending. A very long and lengthy, elaborate one, but no, we're gonna... Yeah, no, fuck that. This is wrong. We're not gonna accept that. Do not accept that. Fuck that. This is wrong. Some people might take this as a lesson in the responsible use of reality-altering powers. Some people might swear off manipulating canon entirely. But no, you fuck that. If it's shit, then you rewrite it. It's fiction. It's your entertainment. You control it. Fuck the author if it's shit. Like, you make it your own. Make it your own. Make it the way you want to be, because it's your entertainment. You want to feel nice and happy and stuff like that. Or at least, make it feel right. If it's not the right kind of depressing, make it feel the right kind of depressing for you. Take control. Screw the author's intent. It's your entertainment, it's your time, it's your leisure time. What's the point of having sick-ass powers at all if you never use them? Maybe some god is going to punish you for the way you've been fucking with the universe. But right now, you don't care. This girl will burn herself to ashes to keep our friends warm. The least you can do is risk the flame for her sake. You quickly sprint up the stairs. Oh, you're not leaving. Don't you have places to be? Yes, we do. It's right here. I will be fine here alone, I promise. It's my duty. I'll get used to it eventually. That's the problem. That is the problem. You can't imagine she's okay with that, no matter what she says. Does she really want to stay alone for the rest of her life? Fuck no. Like, even I don't. Even though I expect to, I don't really want to, but I expect that to be the case. That's why I'm developing some mental problems to not really feel. Anyway, moving on, that's a topic not for anything. Well, of course not. What I want to do is explore the world and hang out with all my pals. But it's not about what I want. It kind of is, though it should be. It's about doing what has to be done. That's what has always been about for me. Well, that's bullshit. Agreed. Huh? Maybe Jade's fate dictates her she never played the game she wanted to play. Maybe heroes don't get a happy ending. But that doesn't mean heroes can't be happy. Exactly. There comes a time in every young woman's life, you tell Jade, where she can't leave home because her pet is an overprotective god. Eh? Okay, that's obviously not true. But there comes a time in many young women's lives where circumstances beyond their control leave them without an escape. Perhaps it is easier to believe that the escape will never come. But you can't let Jade do that. When life has you stuck at home, perhaps, you can still... Oh yeah, right, fucking Homestuck. Yeah. Yeah, we get it. You can still hold on to hope. You can fight. No matter how long you have to wait, you can keep looking for another chance to see the world. And if the universe tells you to sit, stay, and roll over, you look the universe dead in the eyes and ask, who do you think is the master around here? And then you tell it to motherfucking heal. Yeah, you're right. Even now I was still being childish. It was easier to tell myself to be miserable for a noble cause instead of holding on to hope and maybe getting hurt again. But I have to have hope. That's who I am. I'm a hoper, not a moper. I will keep trying to convince Beck that it will be safe for me to leave the island. Things have changed and maybe he doesn't realize it yet. He's kind of a silly dumb dog at times, but he loves me and I love him and we can work it out. Maybe it'll take a while, but I'll definitely figure things out. And while I wait, you'll come visit me sometimes, won't ya? Of course you will. You're not in the habit of abandoning your friends. The idea is unthinkable. You promised Jade that you will come visit her. Come visit. Come visit! A light bulb goes off in your head. One of those cool LED bulbs. The kind that syncs up to your phone and changes colors and spies on you for the government. Party time! Hell yeah, oh yeah. Right, if we can't get her away from here, we could just bring the other guys here. You ask Jade if she's ever had a slumber party. A slumber party? No, I've never had one. It's exciting, but is it really a party if there's just two people and a dog? I mean, first of all, yes, but we can do better. That sounds more like a mild slumber hangout. Hey, that's good enough. Don't worry about it, you tell her. Just start getting the place ready for a bash. Pull out the sleeping bags, conjure up some lightly irradiated snacks, pump up the fresh jams, etc. Yeah, can we do without the irradiation though? But I guess it's permeated here too far off. I don't know if we even have any sleeping bags, but okay, I'll see what I can do. Maybe there's something useful in my grandpa's old supplies. You shoot her a confident salute, and then dissolve into the ether of canon. Alright, Egbert, up and Adam, it's party time. Just yoink him. John yelps and tumbles out of his chair, crashing to the ground in an undignified heap. It looks like he was in the middle of debugging some code on his computer when you interrupted him. He disentangles his limbs and stands up with a groan. Okay, Magic Mailman, we need to get some things straight. Your powers are extremely cool, but using them like this is kinda lame. Jump scares rank very low on the prank scale. They don't take any effort, they are just sort of mean and annoying. You apologize for scaring John. You're just in a very excited mood right now, because it's time for a motherfucking slumber party. Oh cool, I've never been to a slumber party before. Who is it with? You grin. Don't you already know who with, John? The American Association of Mailmen? You give him a blank stare. Alright, probably my other friends. That one should have been obvious. There you go, John. You tell him to pack up whatever supplies he thinks he should bring, and then get ready for another whirlwind ride through space-time. I think I gave him and Jade the same voice. Accidentally, unintentionally, I forgot what I gave him before. I don't know. I should probably go do the responsible thing and let my dad know I'm going on a trip, even if I will be back soon. Okay, that's fine. You tell him, but don't take too much time. This route's already getting pretty long. Yeah, we're almost at an hour mark. And we haven't fumbled up any of these parts, so it's just like, damn. Cool, okay, what should I bring? Oh, I need to grab some movies, definitely. They'll be there, right? I should bring some McConaughey movies, so he realizes it was right all along about Matthew's stellar acting. Is it? Has that? Actually, I don't know if I've seen any of his movies. Probably have, but don't. Oh, and of course some snacks. This is a great time for me to unload all the excess birthday cakes my dad made me. Seriously, there are hundreds of them in the fridge. It is highly ridiculous. Yeah, that's a massive fucking fridge then. Or those are tiny cakes. You wait patiently in John's room as he goes downstairs to fetch his bounty of cakes. talk to his dad, and do all of his other preparation. It takes forever. You're not really sure what he's doing down there. You think he might be walking around, examining all of the objects in his home in great detail, and solving a bunch of puzzles? Alright, right, he's a point-and-click adventure protagonist. He has to be a kleptomaniac as well. Come on, John. That's not the right genre of game. Get your shit together. Okay, ready. Alright, step 2 is to get a Rose. You take John's hand and zap the two of you into Rose's mansion. John spends a while goggling at the giant statue of Zezerpan, the Learned. Then you ascend the staircase towards Rose's room and knock on the door. Her voice comes from within, slightly muffled. What did I give her? I forgot already. Fuck me. You're home early. I've been hearing strange noises from the neighboring lab of late. Have you? Rose opens the door and freezes. John? Her eyes widen and she slowly steps backwards, which John takes as an invitation stride into her room. Her cheeks darken and she scans the room, eyes flickering from mess to mess. Surprise, Rose! We're here to steal you away, like the owl who kidnaps Harry Potter. That's not... She sighs and turns to you. Care to explain the sudden intrusion? It is normally considered polite to call ahead, especially when it's possessed of reality-bending powers. Oh, don't be melodramatic. There's probably nothing too embarrassing in this room. John furrows his brow as he glances around the room, eyes sweeping over the walls. He eventually settles on some pictures that have been hung up. I mean, look at these great drawings. Did you do that? That's so cool. I didn't know you drew stuff. Rose gives him the smile of a girl whose soul has just shriveled into a blackened husk. Again, an explanation would be nice. You explain that you've come to collect Jade's friends for a slumber party. I see. The commercial and critical failure of Spur must have impacted her more strongly than I anticipated. She was really looking forward to playing that game with us. Yeah, that's putting it lightly, probably. I would hate to disappoint her further. Consider this my RSVP. Rose gives you a curt nod and then turns to frown at John, who is poking around under her bed. Something tugs at the corner of her mouth. John, my mother is busy and will not be expected to return for a while. Why don't you and our strange friend go analyze her room instead? I need time to pack. Oh, okay, Rose. Whatever you say. Rose shoves you out of the room with more strength than you expected from a 13-year-old girl and shuts the door hard. I forgot these are fucking teenagers, like teenagers. Keep forgetting that. Man, I hope Rose realized that I was being serious when I said her drawings were good. We tease each other a lot, but she's really cool. John's speaking loudly enough that Rose can almost certainly hear him from the other side of the door. You think he knows that, but you don't say anything, except to casually suggest that you and John go way downstairs and admire all the ridiculous wizard art. He agrees. God, this house is so weird. Who needs a giant statue of a wizard? Where did they even get this? Oh, and speaking of weird, I didn't want to bring this up with Rose in case it's just some funny story I'm not in on, but what's with all the writing on her? But John trails off as Rose descends the stairs with a neatly packed bag. Shall we? We shall, you say. With a hand on each of their shoulders, you close your eyes and concentrate on the Strider apartment. You're aiming for the hallway outside the front door, but this power is still taking some getting used to. So you instead pop into existence right on top of Dave's bed. He's tapping away at something on his computer, and as soon as you appear, his entire body tenses up. You've barely had a moment to react before Dave wheels around in his chair and flings a handful of shurikens at you. One of them grazes Rose's cheeks so closely a strand of pale hair flutters to the ground. She turns to look at the weapon now embedded in the wall and runs a finger along the edge of the blade, squinting. Oh, Jesus shit. What the fuck, man? Surprise? Okay, rule 1 of time travel or dimension hopping, don't fucking pull this kind of shit. I mean, seriously. Under any circumstances, I'd be shitting my fucking nuts off about the opportunity to chill with my best bro. But dude, you can't just drop a guy's besties into the middle of his room out of nowhere like this. This is an extreme social faux pas. You give a guy some time to prepare. Don't be melodramatic, Dave. I assure you there is nothing present in this room that could make us think lesser of you. If Rose was scarred by that near-death experience just now, she doesn't show it. She hops off the bed and glances around. If you left any pornography out, it would only serve to confirm the hypotheses I have already made. Dude, are these selfies? Are you doing the duck face in this one? Oh man. Oh, for fuck's sake, John. You get a VIP all-access backstage pass and the first thing you do is insult my stuff? Like some rowdy tool at the Nickelback concert rummaging through their closets instead of doing the musical world a favor and assassinating them. Oh, Nickelback's fine, piss off. Well, yeah. You would do the same, dude. Touché. But anyway, aside from you getting your grubby hands all over my pristine collection of cool swords, what the hell are you all doing here? We're having a slumber party. Are you in? Oh, I don't know. Bro's basically always keeping tabs on me. God wants me to be safe, you know. Or rather, wants me to only be in the right kind of danger to teach me lessons about irony and being a dope-ass fucking ninja master. It's all some pretty intense supervision is the point being made here. Was already getting some rank vibes from him after that little jaunt over to Olive Garden. Actually, the vibes have been off ever since John's B-Day, if I'm being honest. So I don't know how he'd feel about me gallivanting off on some magic snooze adventure with Slappy at the time traveling mailman. Seems like the kind of thing he'd take issue with. Ah, come on, he can't be that bad. What kind of guy wouldn't want his little brother hang out with his friends? Yeah, I guess. Be a pretty chic kind of guy if he did that. Wouldn't he? Dave stares off into the middle distance for a while. Rose observes him intently. Look, Dave, I don't think it would feel right if we all had a big party and you weren't there. Jade would really miss you. As would we. Yeah. Dave glances furtively around the room as if he's expecting a camera to blink at him from up in one of the corners. Alright, I mean, let me just grab some subs. That's supplies for sure. Hey, mailman, what's Jail's hell dog like? Do I need to bring one of those cool-ass swords? Cool. These swords are like $5 Chinatown swords, aren't they? What? No. Okay, listen. While Dave grabs his stuff and John heckles him affectionately, Rose's attention has been drawn back to the shuriken Dave threw at her. You stroll over and ask her what's up. She responds with her own question. Have you been introduced to Dave's brother? Not yet. You've heard a lot about him though. For the sake of diplomacy, you only briefly touch on the opinion you formed. He certainly seems like a fascinating man. The kind of individual whose brain I would love to pick apart, to find out just what twisted mechanisms fire off within its chambers. So that's what she's thinking about. Dave's bro? Rose chews on her bottom lip. Not exactly, but an adjacent topic. I'm mulling over the ethical quandaries presented by the existence of powers esoteric. What? It's nothing to concern yourself with yet. We have a party to attend, apparently. Alright, Dave is done packing up. You open both palms and suggest that everyone holds hands so you can best channel your powers. Really? We're holding hands? God, this is so lame. But he does it, and when he clasps John's and Rose's hands, he shifts around and blushes faintly in a manner that suggests he doesn't really think it's so lame. In fact, he may think it is the opposite of lame. He may think it is rad. And he'd be right. Friendship is the raddest thing of them all. Plus magic powers are pretty fucking rad. You're full of warm and fuzzy friend feelings as you teleport back to Jade's atrium. Wait, no, that's just the feelings of your body dissolving and reconstituting itself halfway across canon. They are very similar feelings. Yeah, let's just... You head to the base of the staircase, where you call out to Jade. Her guests have arrived, you tell her. Jade rushes down to the stairs and nearly trips over her skirt. Her expression is tight and anxious, and when she sees your motley crew standing there, she freezes up. Her breath hitches in a half-sob. You really did bring them! They're here! You're all here! Jade breaks into a wide grin and sprints forward, launching herself into like a missile at her friends and just tackles John. Dave throws himself bodily out of the way and Rose takes an alarmed step back, leaving John to bear the full brunt of her affections. She crashes into him and the two of them go spinning around and around as Jade laughs breathily. Well, calm down there, Jade. It's nice to see you too. Tears are beading in her eyes as she squeezes him tight and then pecks his cheek with a soft kiss. Oh, Jen, I'm so happy to see you in person. I'm in waking person and everything. I spent so much time watching you sleep. Phrasing? What? Phrasing. Jade swings around to look at her other two pals. Could you explain that to them? Come on, you two. Get over here. We all have a 4 times hug combo right now. Ah, hugs are nice and Dave's fucking embarrassed, but he likes it. Come on, Dave, you like hugs. Rose and Dave cautiously step forward and Jade, with John's help, yanks them both into the tight embrace. She smooches them on the cheeks too. Rose's face lightens up with a blush and Dave nearly goes catatonic. When Jade pulls back, she's clutching John's hand and tugging so hard she might pull the damn thing off. Come on everyone, let's go upstairs. I found a bunch of military-grade sleeping bags in Grandpa's old fudging gear and set them up in my room. We can play with all my toys and jam out to some music and stay up all night chatting with each other and oh my god, you're all here, this is really happening. Jade's next laugh verges on hysterical and she's got tears streaking down her cheeks. Dave looks a little perturbed. Oh, holy shit, it's cool, Jade, knowing you get so, like this. Kinda fucks me up seeing you cry. Not that I'm trying to make this all about me. I mean, Dave, you're doing a horrible job of comforting her. Jade, come here. I shall hold you in my arms. Ah. Rose walks over to Jade, extends her thumbs and swipes them down Jade's teary cheeks in a stiff, mechanical motion. Then she wraps her arms around Jade in an embrace that could generously be called a hug, but looks more like the precursor to an alien medical examination. John boggles at this play. None of you workshops know what to do, oh my god. Come here, Jade. Ah, thank you, John. Hugs are nice. Now, come on everyone, let's go. And so the party begins. Tales told, movies watched, and fun had aplenty. So many shenanigans happen. So many. Perhaps someday you'll recount them all in detail. But before you know it, the energy in the room has fled alongside the sunlight. The moon and stars cast their pale gaze upon 4 supine friends, bundled up in sleeping bags and caught midway between slumber and wakefulness. Dave is rambling about some inane bullshit that nobody's paying attention to, and Rose is attempting, quite terribly, to lecture John and Jade on the modern reinterpretation of Lovecraft's work. You think it's about time you bowed out. It's not that you haven't enjoyed chumming it up with these kids, but you'd feel kind of weird sticking around overnight. You can come back later. Besides, you've got places to go and sights to see. There's an entire golden moon out there full of potential friends that you knew nothing about before today. The universe beckons, and you are powerless to refuse. You give Beck a little nod, like, hey, take care of these kids. Beck doesn't nod back, because he's a dog, but you like to think he understands. As you quietly slip down the staircase and out of sight, you spare one last glance at the group and find a sigh escaping your lips. Everything that's happened here feels almost too good to be true. Can it last? Can this brazen wish fulfillment go unpunished? You find that hard to imagine. There is something fate touched about these kids. You can feel it in your bones. As surely as the wind whispers through the trees or the stars dance through space, as surely as the turning clocks will call the sunlight back again, these kids will never be free of the bullshit that hounds them. But right here, right now, they are at peace. They have shared this one perfect moment together, and perhaps in the future there will come more betwixt chaos. And maybe that's enough. There we go. That's nice. That's just nice. Let's just enjoy this little scenery of them being all friendly and happy and everything else. Slumber party. Being all silly and fun. That was nice. I really enjoyed this bit. I really enjoyed this. This was very, very nice. But obviously there will be more. We're only 1/5 of the way through. And get a sense that it's not gonna be great, is it? It's not gonna be happy times, at least not as happy as this for a while. But oh well, we'll get to it when we get to it. But for now, we can leave for a moment, for a brief respite, upon this happy feeling of kids having some fun and not being tied down by some bullshit. There's that. So let's just enjoy that for a moment, and then we shall see each other later when we begin the Zodiac things. Ta-ta for now.